Hi, welcome to Far From Eden. Oh, we had technical difficulties yesterday. I got a computer virus for the first time in my life. As a Mac person, it was very strange, but it got handled and we're here today. And I'm so glad. Covering this video of that man guide did. I actually missed this video somehow. It didn't pop up on my radar, aka my YouTube homepage. And I have to thank Salty Nuts. That's the only name I know him by, but that's the email. That's the name on the email. And he sent it to me. So thank you, Salty Nuts, for sending that. I appreciate it. And I started to watch it when he sent it to me. And there's this woman in the very beginning, and she's realizing that she has run out of time, that she will actually never have children. And this is a huge, it's going to be more than just this woman. It's going to be millions of women who have believed that their career was what was important, that it would fulfill them, that being a mother is oppression, being a real wife is him controlling you. Don't you want more out of life? Well, they're getting older, these women, and they're realizing there's no real meaning in your career, not as compared to your family. And these women are getting older, and there's no family. There's nobody. There's nobody to bring them NyQuil when they have the flu. There's nobody to take them to a doctor's appointment. There's nobody when they come home from that, awesome job. Who's there? Who depends on them? Who needs them? People need to be needed, and no one needs these women. They're too independent. We women have made ourselves so independent that we're alone. It's not a good thing. And it's going to be millions and millions in the next, 5-10 years as the millennials get into their, upper 40s, and Gen X is, it's sort of that Xennial age, right? Where the women are, sort of around 40, a little younger than 40, older than 40. It's going to be a lot of them. And what are they going to do? Are they going to admit it? Are they going to be humble? Don't hold your breath, right? I know none of you guys are, and you shouldn't. And that's the thing, is like, it's not okay. You can't just go, oh yeah, oops, we made a mistake, come wife us up. No, because have they changed really? Or are they just sad because it's something that they're not going to get? So let's watch this video together. I have seen it already because I attempted to make this video twice yesterday, but hey, it's just good. You can't see it enough, I guess. And I will catch things that, I have already caught things that I didn't notice before. So let's go. Dennis Prager is going to start us off here.
So a woman called me. She said, I'm 50 years old. I have 3 degrees. I'm very successful entrepreneur, CEO. And I want you to know, Dennis, that I deeply regret that I followed the feminist advice at college. Because when I come home after a successful day at work to an empty home, no husband, no children, no family, it's not good.
I'm sitting here with just this horrible realization. I have spent most of my days figuring out how I can become physically, mentally, financially, spiritually healthy enough to be able to afford and take care of a child. And not only have I taken that time, but I've done the math, and it does not work out. I am not young enough, or fertile enough, or financially stable enough to even do another round of IVF. And
here's the thing. Why are you doing IVF? Why are you playing God with all of this? Well, because you were told to. You were told, freeze your eggs, make embryos, do it later. But what they're not told is that stuff is not a sure thing. It doesn't just naturally work. God made it a certain way for a reason. And scientists, as much as they try, are not going to, improve upon God's design. But this woman is clearly having a giant pity party. When I first watched it, I was sort of commiserating with her because I too know that I will never have children. And obviously, I've known for a lot longer than the last couple months or the last couple years. But there's this something that hits women. I think it happens to all women, even women who've had bunches of kids. They get to a certain age and they realize, oh, I'm done. Even done having more children. But those of us who haven't had children, we hit this stage of our lives and we realize, oh my God, it's really never going to happen. It's not, well, probably not, but it feels like an existential crisis. I can look back and go, oh, I prioritized the wrong things. They lied. Feminism lied to me, but also, God didn't. I had the Bible. I knew. I didn't get it. I wish that my family had stressed the importance of having your own family. But I'm not going to sit there and have a pity party like she is and try to blame everyone and everything except herself. There's no accountability here at all. So what started out with me thinking, oh, I know it's so sad, these lies that they told us. But then as she tells her story, I'm like, oh, I don't really feel that sorry for you. You take no ownership. Typical.
And at 36, like, I'm sorry, like, you're gonna say, like, you have time. Like, I don't. Because I can't spend another minute of my life trying to make something work when I'm just fighting upstream. I don't have a support system. I don't have the money. I don't have the resources or the community. And it just kills me. It kills me that I had embryos with my ex-husband that were viable and they're just gone now. And my future with those children and my life as a mother is just, it's gone. And it's not just that it's gone, it's the fact that it was decided for me by so many other people and factors. And that's what kills me. Because it was not my choice. And I'm angry. And I'm heartbroken.
Yeah.
Modern women made a mistake, and that mistake was believing the lies of feminism.
Yep.
Under the toxic ideology of modern feminism, legions of women marched into the office determined to beat men and become boss babes. Women said they didn't want to be mothers anymore. Instead, they chose to work themselves to death climbing the corporate ladder instead of chilling at home. They said that serving their husband is misogynistic, so they chose to serve their boss at work instead. Because that makes sense, right? All along, men knew that women were walking into a trap. But you can't expect a woman to admit she was wrong, because we all know that never happens.
Okay. Here's the question I have for you guys. He says men knew all along that women were walking into a trap. The thing about I remember in high school being in honors classes. I remember the boys. I remember nobody ever talking about wanting a wife. Nobody ever talking about wanting a family. And when I say nobody, like the men, I didn't get that. And I didn't get that from, my high school boyfriend, who was also my college boyfriend. Like, I was the one who talked about marriage and kids and stuff like that. And he wanted to sow his wild oats. And that's one person. I get it. That's one person. But like, where, if the men thought that, if the men knew that this was all a mistake and the careers in college and all that was all a mistake, then, I mean, they didn't say it to us. So I don't know if Man Guide is from a different generation. Did you guys express that? Did you know that? Did you know that we were walking into a trap, getting all these degrees and careers? I don't know. I know that when feminism started, it was not like women, you know, fighting for it and earning it or winning it or whatever. It was, there were bad people, bad men behind it. You know, there were political powers that wanted to get a big new voting base that they could propagandize and brainwash and, you know, use to bring in leftist type policies. And so the real enemy is actually, you know, the overlords, which it's funny because somebody messaged and said, oh, the overlords are shutting down your stream, because it was weird yesterday. Like, I kept having technological problems. I'm like, oh, I'm over here saying we need to know who the real enemy is. Yes, women are absolutely ridiculous, and you shouldn't date them or marry them until conditions improve. And also, men were lied to as well. I know men that thought, oh, well, yeah, I'll get married and, you know, she'll work and I'll work and we'll kind of divvy up the other responsibilities. And they really thought it would work. But then you get down to it, and those men will say, yeah, that was never important to me. The only reason why they were supportive is because they felt like she wanted that. So it was like, okay, if you want to go and do that, I'll support you. I'll, you know, encourage you, whatever. But it was never because they wanted it. And there's just a huge miscommunication in my brain. Honestly, I really think that there are a couple generations here, Gen X and millennials, that did not know that men don't care about career, that they don't care about degrees. Because when I was younger, I actually, it's so stupid. And I say younger, like I just learned this 8 years ago. But I thought that it mattered. I thought, oh gosh, I'm barely a part-time riding instructor and I'm a college dropout. Oh my gosh. No one will want me. How silly, right? Now that I know what I know. But in my world growing up, if you weren't ambitious to have a career and you wanted to be a wife and a mother, well, then you were just a gold digger. But that's not true, because being a wife and a mother is hard work and should be celebrated and respected. That's the problem, is that the brainwashing and everything for my generation was that no, you don't want to be just a mom, right? Remember back in the day, like, oh, his mom doesn't work, her mom doesn't work. And there was like a, you kind of looked down on the women who didn't work, like didn't have a job. And well, we didn't want to be one of those deadbeats. It's so messed up. It's so messed up. We've all been lied to, and we've been pitted against each other because they want to break up the family. And the best way to do it is to make us hate each other.
We knew they were fed a lie and they would suffer for it later. Men didn't want that to happen, but then these women turned on men, attacking them, claiming they were being hateful misogynists. The brainwashing was so deep that it was too late. Since then, men have been watching for the moment when the wheels start to fall off and this toxic ideology starts falling to pieces. And now, that's finally started happening. More and more women are showing up on social media, expressing their deep regret at buying into the toxic feminist lies they were told. Because now, they're paying the price for it in a big way.
Yep.
And they know it. Modern women are paying a big price right now for falling for the trap of feminism. Hate to say we told you so, They refused to listen to men. We weren't misogynists for offering criticism, but this is what so many modern women accuse us of: hating women. And this is an easy way to avoid taking accountability and examining your own life choices. But in this video, I'm going to break down the lies of feminism and why women are paying the price for it right now. They're regretting feminism in a big way, and it's obvious why. Feminism told women that they've been oppressed for thousands of years. It told women that men have been in power the whole time, and the reason for their suffering is because of men. This is the most toxic and hateful.
What suffering? What is all this suffering that we women have endured? Because I know there are lies about what men have done, but like that's just not the case. We wouldn't have such a flourishing and wonderful society. Not now, but 50 years ago or whatever, we wouldn't have had that. You don't have that without strong families. You don't have strong families, you don't have a good society. And we had strong families. You can't have strong families if the man is like oppressive and coming home and just being his woman. Like that did not happen. That's not the nature of men. Yes, there are bad men. That is not the majority of them. And that's the problem. Too much, television, like SVU, all the crime shows, they show the bad guy, and that's on purpose. The bad guy is this image that they want women to have in their minds, that they can just think all men are like that. And then when one of us does have a bad experience with a man at some point in our lives, which you're going to, there's going to be good and bad people. We take that bad experience and we think, oh, that's all of them. And we just kind of spread it to everybody. And that's true if a woman has, a difficult relationship with her father growing up. And even if it isn't really difficult, what if it's just her mother telling her that's what her father is like? What if it's like just a perception thing? Then she takes that view and again expands it. And it's obviously it's designed for women to think that men are predators and men are bad and men are oppressive and all the rest of it. And it's just not based in reality. It's not based in reality. So all this suffering that women have done, like how? Not here, elsewhere in the world, maybe. Not in this country. Certainly haven't suffered more than men. Men have worked and worked and worked. Women, generally speaking, women don't really know what hard work is. Sometimes I'll refer to something as hard work, and then my brain will picture Bill Burr talking about roofing as a redhead in the summertime. And I'm like, wait a second. What I just described as hard work is not hard work. And it's embarrassing how it just rolls off my tongue. I'm like, ugh, the poison. Sometimes it's like it's still in there. You must expel the feminism. Be gone. All right, what's happening? Please don't give me more problems.
Stance you could possibly take. It's a terrible misrepresentation of history, and it's flat out wrong in every way.
Yeah.
The majority of the most powerful people in history were indeed men, but that's not all men. It's not even some men. Right now, 0.00059% of men are billionaires. That's such a small number that you can barely imagine it. So trying to convince half of the population that all men are oppressing women is insanity. The majority of men are struggling to survive. Why would we care about oppressing women? But by feeding them this lie, feminism told women that they need to be strong, independent boss babes to survive in a man's world and break free from oppression. And this is what modern women decided to do. They gave up their place in the home and went to work instead. So now, instead of chilling with the kids, they're working overtime in office jobs. Hooray for women, I guess. Now they're working harder than ever before. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but this is exactly what they asked for. The cat's out of the bag, and there's no going back. Modern women want their Prince Charming to come and support the family while she sits at home, but this isn't happening. It's too late. Congratulations, ladies. You played yourselves. Maybe if you listened to men, you wouldn't be in this mess. Men know that taking responsibility is what keeps the wheels of society turning, but it's not a luxury. We don't take responsibility and do the difficult things because it's fun. We do it because it's necessary. But through toxic feminism, women have been forced to take more responsibility than they ever have before. They're in a position where they need to do everything at all times. They need to pay the bills, get the car repaired, cook dinner, take the kids to school, call the plumber to fix the sink, and keep that apartment clean. They have to do this while working 40 plus hours a week for a boss who probably treats her worse than a loving husband would have done.
Exactly. They're so afraid of submitting to a husband, but they work for a boss, and you have to do what the boss says or you're going to get fired. And you might say, yeah, well, you can quit that job. You can. But also, you'll quit it and you'll go to another job where it's another boss who doesn't care about you. If you have a loving husband, that man is going to make your life as comfortable as he can. That's the nature of men. And I get it. A lot of you guys are like, I'm not doing that. And I get it. But if you had a real woman, a real wife who was sweet and feminine and cooperative, kept your home clean, raised your children, homeschooled them, was affectionate to you, all of those things. Goodness gracious. When you show effort with a man, when you show him respect, when you show him you appreciate him, it's pretty amazing. Most of them are actually pretty amazing. And women we don't know that. We believe all this like this. It's almost like a caricature of men that isn't who they are at all. We don't, a lot of the times now I'm just looking at society and I'm like, oh yeah, women just don't understand who men even are. They don't think that men can feel. They don't think that men can have a broken heart. They don't think that men can love deeply. And they're absolutely wrong. But they honestly think that. They think that. And that's what makes it so easy for them to hurt you guys and to discard you, to emasculate you, embarrass you, because you don't really have feelings anyway. It's awful. It's like sociopathic, because if you don't look at somebody like they actually are fully human with full human emotions, then you're going to treat them differently. And in a way, it's been a dehumanizing of men. And that's how women treat you. That's how they treat you guys.
Now, ladies, please tell me how this is progress. Is this what you wanted? Because I guarantee you that this isn't the utopia that feminism promised you. And here you are. You're a slave. I hope you're enjoying it as much as you said you would. In a way, men are feeling validated because these women are now realizing firsthand what it's like to be a man. And women don't like it. Not one bit. But ladies, I thought this was an oppressive patriarchy and men had all the privileges in society. If that's the case, why isn't it easy? Maybe this is a sign that feminism is a ton of BS that screwed you over to appease the egos of a few
Yeah.
angry women that started it.
Yeah.
And there's one nuclear level way feminism doomed women to a life of misery. Let me explain. Feminism told women that they could have it all without any of the responsibility, effort, or accountability.
Right.
They could bang whoever they wanted because her body, her choice, right? They could also have a thriving career because women are strong, independent boss babes in a world where men aren't needed. They basically told women that they should be better men than the actual men. This created an entire generation of women who suddenly became hyper focused on their careers. Feminism saw this as a win, except it made one colossal fuck up. It threw motherhood under the bus. Feminism completely failed to address the elephant in the room that most women want to be mothers one day. But feminists didn't have an answer for that. To feminism, Wanting to be a mother is to reduce yourself to being a baby maker, and men like that, so that's automatically a bad thing. It failed to help aspiring mothers be attractive to men they want. It completely ignored what men find attractive.
I frankly do think that it is
I agree
selfish
with you, yeah.
of women who are of childbearing age and are able to do so, who choose not to have children. I do think that that's selfish.
I mean, I
would-
definitely girl boss and I get it, but at the
Yeah.
same time, like, oh, you know what? I think we were sold this lie of like, yeah, do whatever men can do, rise up
Yeah,
the ranks,
you're
the
right.
corporate ladder, and all that. And I'm like, well, why is everyone so unhappy? Like, it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, it creates a much bigger problem because we're
Yeah.
facing a huge population decline that's absolutely rapidly declining. We will not continue on as a species in the way that we have known it so far if women continue to choose to just be boss babes all the time.
Because feminism is a man hating ideology. It didn't care what men wanted. Feminism said that what men find attractive doesn't matter because women aren't here to please men. Well done, ladies. Your bitterness and resentment towards your daddy created a shitstorm for other women. Here's what you did. This is how you may have doomed the entire Western world. You created a generation of women who are undateable and extremely unattractive to most men. Women who are argumentative, controlling, man hating, and bitter. Yes, these women make more money, but men don't care and we never will.
And men don't want that. Why would you? Why would you want to be with anybody like that? Just whether it's a man or a woman. Why, we women go out into the workforce and we're told, be this way, be that way, and we're argumentative and everything. And for some reason, women don't see it as argumentative. Women think they're being leaders and strong. And it's not. You're just being witchy. You're just being witchy. Awful. Awful.
And no, for once, you can't point the finger at men. What men find attractive has been universally consistent since the dawn of time. It's you feminists who try to go against nature, rewrite history, and ignore basic biology. You've created a generation of women who are more like a group of the worst kind of men imaginable. And why would men want to date angry men? Men want women. Men have always wanted women. And you've erased real women from the culture. And now we have a surge in lonely and miserable women.
Yep.
Single mothers in their 30s who got banged by Chad but can't find a providing man who will tolerate her for more than 5 minutes. There's a lonely women epidemic in the West now, and feminism created it. It's not the fault of men. We were calling bullshit from the very beginning. Ladies have only themselves to blame.
So, I have a question. It's a big question, and it's for all you hot single guys. I want to know where you are because I can't find you. You're not in any coffee shop. You're not on most of the dating apps that I've been on before.
This lady is awful. This is so embarrassing. I just want to say the secondhand embarrassment from this lady over here, like asking, where are the men? When you are an attractive, feminine woman, you don't have to ask, where are the men? They will find you. They will find you and they will make themselves known. That's what happens. You really don't have to go out and look for them and be aggressive. She doesn't realize how masculine and aggressive and how off-putting this is. And this kind of behavior actually makes you seem older. This masculine type of behavior, you seem harder edged. And yeah, that's what's going on with her. But the secondhand embarrassment is just painful. Painful. She should be so embarrassed of this. It's like, announce to the world that no one wants you. She doesn't realize it. These women think they are going to go out and they're going to find the man. That's not how it works. We are not the pursuers. But we are also not supposed to be nasty and rude to people. Ever. That should have never gotten started.
And you're not hanging out with my mates. So where are you? Literally, tell me your location, because I have almost retired my vagina because I can't find a single guy that I find remotely attractive, funny, smart,
Gross.
intelligent, charming. Where are you? Do you all go and hibernate on some far off island somewhere else, like for the summer and the winter and the autumn, and like literally come out for like 2 weeks and oop, I miss you? Where are you? Come on, like answers on a postcard. St. Albans, send your location to me,
Oh my
and I'm
gosh.
coming. Literally coming.
These women are trying everything. Some are even flying overseas in retaliation for the passport bro movement. And they're failing miserably because men in other countries don't want them either. Western women used to be in high demand, but now they're seen as the bottom of the barrel. This is exactly why men are running to other countries to find real women, because they aren't finding any in the West. Feminism and the government made it easier than ever for women to make bank because of the
The government, yes, the government, the overlords have been behind feminism from the beginning. That is who it benefits. It has never benefited women. It was never intended to benefit women. They knew, the people who were pushing it, overall, most women didn't want it. Most women didn't, because they were like, why would I? Women were protected from that side of life, and they had their duties and their responsibilities, and they were having babies, and they were teaching them, and they were caring for them, and they were looking after their families, their houses, their husbands, doing the things they're supposed to be doing.
whole equal pay bullshit. Women started getting paid crazy amounts to correct a wage gap that never existed. Now, there are countless women earning six figures. Hooray for women! But now they're coming face to face with their own hypergamous nature. They're quickly realizing that they don't want men who earn less than them. By becoming boss babes, they've priced themselves out of the dating market completely. And now, only 1% or less of men are attractive to her. This isn't the fault of men. This is the short sightedness of women coming back to bite them in the ass. And another reason why so many women are single and lonely. There's a term that I like to call selective equality, which is the tendency of modern women to want the benefits of equality with none of the responsibility. And you
Mhm.
see this in dating more than
Yeah.
any other arena.
Yeah, they want the man to be traditional, but they don't want to bring anything to the table. They think just their existence is something, and it's like, no, you need to actually bring some value. Just yourself, your face, whatever, that doesn't do it. Doesn't do it. It doesn't, you're not going to bring him anything into his life that's going to make it better. You're just going to disrupt his peace. And men need to be very protective of their peace. It's precious. And that's why they're saying, no, nope, we're not doing this. Your peace is far too important.
Modern women want men to suppress their masculinity because it makes them feel safe. But 83% of women also expect men to approach them and make the first move. They want men to behave themselves, but they also want them to approach. How does that make sense? They also want the top tier man, high value man, without considering what value she brings to the table. She wants everything while providing nothing. She wants to be an independent, strong boss babe, but she still expects the man to pay $400 for a date. If she's expected to pay her half of the meal, suddenly the man is a weak, low value dude. She wants to be strong, but she doesn't want to approach men because that's their job. Double standards like the ones I just described dominate modern society. It's one rule for women and another for men. This is why modern feminism is about power and control, not equality. Well, ladies, here's why you regret feminism. Because men are playing your game. They aren't approaching you anymore. They aren't agreeing to pay for dates. They aren't helping you in the gym because you said men were creepy. You asked for equality, and you're getting it. But modern women don't like it. They said they wanted equality, but what they really wanted is to be treated like princesses. And now they hate the fact that they're being treated fairly.
You can be single and free and travel and hang out with your girls and live this amazing life. But the reality is, women have an expiration date in terms of having a family. Men don't. You guys could be 70 and birth a new family if you wanted to. Don't know why you would, but if you did, you could do that. But as women, we have a limited time frame. I think it's like 28 or 30. So we only have this window. And when it passes, that's it.
For years, women have enjoyed an advantage in the divorce courts. Marriage was the best scam in society. It was a total win win for women and mostly a lose lose for the men. A woman getting married went into the deal with no worries. For one simple reason: she has far less risk than the man. If they get divorced, the man loses everything. But the woman, she gets the kids and some fat monthly alimony payments. It worked out really well for the women most of the time. The man was even expected to pay for the wedding, regardless of how crazy expensive her tastes were. This was traditionally how it went down, and it favored the women. And because feminism loves racking up solid L's, it accidentally started screwing that up too. Now we're seeing a shift in the divorce courts. It's a slow change, but it's happening. Women are making more money, and the courts are noticing that. More and more joint custody arrangements are being approved. And in the future, I expect that the whole man paying alimony thing may be the next on the chopping block. But in this gynocratic society, I'm not completely optimistic. Modern women had a way of making money from men, and they completely ruined it for themselves. And I couldn't be happier about it. Modern women are regretting feminism in a big way, and this is only going to progressively get worse. Expect to see the wheels fall off big time as feminism is exposed as the manipulative and toxic ideology it has always been. As a man, here's what you need to do: don't participate. Don't feed women the validation they're addicted to. Instead, give them their kryptonite: accountability. Walk away quietly, focus on yourself, and never be afraid to hold that mirror up to women. In a society full of simps, be the superior man who walks his own path. Be the man who goes his own way. As always, I wish you tremendous success. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below.
Okay. Well, uh, yeah, it's a fantastic video, and these women are going to be in for a shock because they're all going to hit this different kind of a wall. You know, there's the wall where you're not attractive to the men anymore. You're not noticed. But then there's also this wall where you you can no longer have that option of having a family. And for people, women who've been told their whole lives, oh, you can do anything you want, you can have anything you want, et cetera, no accountability, no consequences, then all of a sudden you're like, wait, no, I can't have children. Like, it doesn't matter. I can't. I will never have a family. This is going to hit hard. It's going to hit hard. And it's exactly what feminism is reaching its pinnacle. In my opinion, I believe feminism is achieving what it was created for. It was created to bring in leftist ideologies and to break up the family. And yeah, to bring down the patriarchy. What's the patriarchy? God, man, ahead of woman, children. You move God and man out of the way, well, the patriarchy is destroyed. However, what happens? Woman thinks, oh, I'm on top now? No, government, boop, crush. That's been the whole goal the whole time. It really has been. You think that these people didn't realize how it was going to play out? Of course they did. Of course they did. It was all about power, and women have been very useful for bad people to get power. But we have to sort this out between us, and understanding it, I guess, is part of it. And it's so hard because, you know, I feel like everybody knows this. And then I have interactions with normal people and I'm like, oh, there's still people who have no idea. There's still men out there that think that it's just happening to them. And that's so sad for them to think that they're alone. It breaks my heart. But we're going to see this more and more. I want to see accountability. I understand being mad at feminism. I understand being angry at the powers that be for brainwashing and all the rest of it. But at the end of the day, too, you have to say, yeah, I wasn't stronger than that. You know, I could have said no. I gave in to the temptation of, ooh, look at that sparkly thing over there. Oh, you don't have to do this. I gave in to fear. So I love you guys. I hope that you forgive me that virus and all the rest of it yesterday with my computer. Thank you for understanding. We're going to be back on track now. And please find some peace today. Prioritize your peace. Do something that feeds your soul. And I will see you on the next one. Take care.